Welcome back to First Listens, that series where we listen to an album that neither of us have heard for the first time.
Today we're going to be listening to Fancy That by PinkPantheress. Now, PinkPantheress is an artist that I'm quite fond of. I've heard a couple of her tracks. I've not really dived into her discography at all, though. But I know that you haven't really listened to much of her at all.
Other than the big radio hits that I've heard in passing, I have not given her a chance, so I'm quite intrigued to see what this is going to be like.
Let's jump into the first track here with Illegal.
Of course, we start with one that I do know.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you don't know this. See, those beats are really clean. There's just something about it that feels really light and happy, whilst also having that break beat going on in the background.
It just feels super chill, like the vocal delivery, the production is just so relaxed. It's real dancey as well.
It is very dancey, man. And her voice is really unique as well. You don't really hear... I think it's because she's British in a scene of pop girlies that are mostly American these days. And I know for a fact that she also works a lot on the production herself, which I always have big respect for.
I'm not sure on the breathing section here. Never got this far in the song.
This is the anthem part, innit? Get everybody bouncing.
Quite like it clearing up so you can hear the percussion a bit more right
and
at the end there.
Dirty bass that's going on. But what did you think of that? This is what I'm more intrigued of for this album, is your opinion.
I think that's a very fun track. Really, really catchy chorus. Obviously, I've heard it a million times online and in passing, etc. But I know, as you mentioned, that she does a lot of her own production work. And I think that kind of DIY feel comes across in the track. And I know this is a strange way to describe music, but it makes it feel quite relatable. Like, it doesn't feel unachievable. It feels like you could have a go and make a track like that, but it probably won't be anywhere near as catchy, and your vocals are horrible.
Yeah, what the fuck? I thought it was just a collective view. I didn't think you were attacking me like that. I think she's got a certain way, like you were saying, that there's a DIY feel to it, because it does feel like, you know, the beats are simple enough, but there's so much going on in there. Like the bass line, as you said, towards the end, when it starts clearing out, you can hear all the elements come out, and you realize there's a lot more to it than initially meets the eye. But again, I mentioned it during that track, and her voice is just it's very calming. It's very soothing. Do you know what I mean? I feel like if she wasn't, this is a rogue statement, if she wasn't a musician, she could be an ASMR person.
You want some PinkPantheress ASMR?
Hey, listen, it probably exists. Let's be real.
Well, let's go on to the second track, Girl Like Me. I'm excited now for one I don't know. Oh,
I don't think I know this one. Again, really interesting drum work. Oh.
I like that. Is that like a synth?
Yeah.
I like that.
Dirty. The beat is very, very like club centric, isn't it? Oh.
Section's very different there.
Yeah.
I can hear people cheering and celebrating in the background.
There's some dirty bass lines.
Oh, that synth's back.
Come on. That feels like early 2000 British kind of drum and bass grime, that style. I'm liking these kind of outros where it just lets everything speak for a couple of seconds. That is dirty. Telling you, the synth work so far has been pretty fucking good. I could imagine that if you had a bit of a heavier drums on that, then and it was early 2000s, someone like Tinchy Strider or Dizzy Rascal or somebody could easily flow over that beat and it would sound great.
That's the entire vibe that PinkPantheress gives me. It's like being able to make the songs that were commercially successful then that you probably needed a studio for, whereas she can just do it on a laptop now and has the ability to get all of these sounds and synths and drum patterns and stuff. And it proper feels reminiscent. It reminds me of like the type of track you'd hear in like a primary school disco or something and everyone would be losing their mind. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Not in a negative way, but as in like what would be popular at that time in
Everybody's
my life.
had a couple of too many E numbers and they're all getting a bit buzzing and they're all going crazy.
What do you mean by E numbers?
E numbers?
Like ecstasy?
No, like fucking like too much squash or something, like
I've never heard that
and
described
additives.
as E-numbers.
E-numbers.
Never heard that in my life.
Everybody knows what E-numbers are. What?
Well, I'll tell you what, Tim. I'll be having a few E-numbers tonight, which is the next track.
I thought it was called E-numbers tonight.
Just tonight.
Yeah. And if you are enjoying this, please do not forget to like and subscribe. We love PinkPantheress here. Well, I do. Joe might not, but we're going to find out.
Do you know what it feels like? Do you ever have one of those shakers? What are they called? Like a snow globe? And it had like a little goldfish in and it was just like water, pretty much. Goldfish? Like a bit gooey. Like see-through.
What does that feel like?
This song. You know, like when everything was see-through?
Yeah.
And like very shiny.
Yeah, I do.
It's like that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, like chromed.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a crazy line.
It's a weird chorus.
Yeah, really weird. Listen to them dirty wobs in the background, man.
Little deep pitch harmony on this part as well. Sounds good. It works well with her higher pitch voice. She's got quite a good flow, but I find it quite difficult to understand what she's saying without actually looking at the lyrics.
That's how it works, bro. That's how it works. When I have sex with someone, just
Come talk to me.
Just go talk to him, man. Honestly, I can't get enough of this beat.
The wobs.
Yeah, man. Just bouncy, innit?
Having grown up in Northern England and bassline being quite a prevalent thing and genres like that, that felt like the type of track that, or at least the instrumental felt like the type of track that I'd hear in my auntie's car when we were driving to the supermarket on a weekend. Do you know what I mean?
Why is your auntie listening to bassline?
Oh, my auntie loved bassline. Did everyone's auntie not love bassline?
Big bassline junkie.
Yeah, loved it. The entire side of the family loves bassline. So this was the type of track with those wobs in there, just a bit subdued, that I would hear all the time.
Driving down to the local Asda and all the car windows and shit.
yeah. The car's bouncing.
Yeah,
exactly like that.
Yeah, I see what you mean, though. There is definitely those kind of influences from that early style of UK music. And like I was saying earlier, the fact that she is a UK musician in the pop girly scene isn't that common of a thing. I'm sure people out there can list a couple of other UK pop girlies. But, I mean, there's Charlie XCX and those kind. To be fair, actually, yeah. Now that I think about it, but they're all in the realm of kind of more electronic. They've always got the electronic influences if they end up in that pop girly. I don't know if you'd put Charlie XCX in there, but
I don't even really know if I'd put PinkPantheress in there, to be honest. I don't think that the people who like Taylor Swift, etc., will really care about PinkPantheress.
Do you not think?
Well, there'll be some crossover, but I don't think that it's like a direct. You know, like most people who like Taylor Swift will probably like Chapel Roan, I would say, but I wouldn't say most people who like Taylor Swift will probably like PinkPantheress.
What I'm really interested in now, right? If you like PinkPantheress, in the comments section, please write out like your top 5 artists, including PinkPantheress in there. And I'm genuinely intrigued to see what PinkPantheress's fan base is also listening to, because you've made a very good point there. Will they be in the same camp as Taylor Swift, this, that, and the other? Or will there be artists that we're not thinking? Maybe there's Linkin Park fans that are PinkPantheress. I mean, I'm a Linkin Park fan and I'm a PinkPantheress fan. So.
And it'll give us some suggestions for some new albums to listen to. So tell us what artists we need to check out next.
Up next, we've got Stars. What do you go and put stars in their eyes for? Just Jack reference.
Yeah, that's this track.
Oh my God!
Did you not know that?
No. What the fuck? Oh, that's so mad. What the fuck? I did not know. I promise I didn't know.
Yeah, for context, we've had Just Jack on the podcast a little while ago, so check that out after this video.
Oh. Scary whispering ad-libs. So do you already know this track then? You think you know more of her than I do. What the fuck?
Just Jack came out with her at Glastonbury. So I've watched that video a few times.
Okay.
And this perfectly lends into that early 2000s influence. Because Just Jack and this track were massive. Back with the wobs. Oh, she's getting into some shit she shouldn't be into.
Oh, interloping. That's fucking sick.
Really cool mixing, just floating around the headphones.
It does sound like she's going.
I love that track, and I think the fact that we've got Just Jack hitting a PinkPantheress album in the big 2025 is amazing. Just Jack is massively underrated, and that song is so catchy. That is one thing that PinkPantheress does on every song. The chorus just gets stuck in your head straight away.
It's one of those, like you were saying, you could say anybody can make this kind of music, but they can't, because nobody is reaching these levels with the production and the way that the choruses flow and the tracks flow and all this stuff. Nobody else is doing that. So if people try and dismiss PinkPantheress with anybody can do that, you do it then. You get as big as Pink is.
No, like I said, I think it's about the fact she can build that vibe. Like, yeah, you might have the tools to do it, but you ain't got the vision, you ain't got the artistic vision to put it together and kind of create this feeling that we've got. Anyway, up next is Intermission, which seems to actually just be an intermission. And then what's the next proper track, Tim? Because we'll just roll into that.
Noises. Oh. Falling. Need some jungle. Oh.
Gonna get a bit of a switching vibe now, maybe, after the intermission.
Chasing status feature.
And then she just said, let's switch the vibe a little. Onto Noises. Yo. Not what I was expecting.
Not at all.
Nah.
I'm okay, it's good.
Bring the energy back. There we go. Oh, that's vibes, man.
Yeah, the little guitar note flying in there as well.
Yeah.
One, two.
Oof.
Really cool in the building of the album to have a little intermission and then switch to a very different feel and kind of a different subgenre in Britain and take a bit of inspiration from that. I thought that was really fun and she did a great job of that.
All I can think is listening to this album, there's so many collaborations that I want to see Pink do that could work really well. And another thing I've noticed is that her singy/rappy voice, when she actually talks and she has these little intermissions where she's on the phone or she's just adding her own little ad-libs, she's so painfully British. But then when she's singing and rapping, you can hear it, but it's not quite there. But when she's talking, she's like, "Oh my god, yeah, I'm from Britain. I'm not gonna pronounce my T. Water bottle." That whole, it gives off that whole energy because you're expecting a different sounding accent, but then when it actually comes out, you go, "Oh yeah, she's a British girlie," and it all, like you say, it all makes sense. This whole project is so coherent, and it just feels like a throwback.
Completely. It is very British. It all feels super, super British. And I'm not sure I've listened to an album in a while that's kind of had so many different layers from different elements of British music. It really has taken so much inspiration.
Well, up next, we've got Nice to Know You.
And it would be nice to know you, the viewer, so please do not forget to hit like and subscribe. As I said earlier, leave a comment with an album you think we would enjoy, and maybe, just maybe, we'll get around to it.
The Streets.
Yeah, very similar.
Waking up on a Tuesday, putting the bins out.
Went and got a full English.
Yeah. Oh, I really like this beat. Oh.
Very clear vocals. It sounds like the most I've been able to understand of the whole album. That difference in the vocals there.
Those harmonies are really cool as well.
This feels like it's slowly building up to something, but I have a feeling it's not going to hit a crescendo. It's just going to be a big build-up.
Yeah. Plenty of fried tomatoes. You're tuned into The Streets. Original pirate material. I love those strings as well. This is another track where now not only do I want to hear with Chasing Status, not only do I want to hear with like somebody like Dizzy or Tinchy, it's even Tinchy Strider's even still around.
I think so.
I think even more so, this is the biggest one that I want to hear now. I want to hear one of those more emotional tracks where Mike Skinner is featured with PinkPantheress, because unironically, that could blow up and top the charts, because I think in the UK especially, seeing Mike Skinner on a track with PinkPantheress, with that kind of production, with that kind of like more emotional feeling, a bit more heartfelt, could absolutely bang.
Yeah, that track was much more slow, felt a little floaty is the way I would describe it. We kind of had this slow build up, some beautiful strings, pretty chill beat, more of a spoken word flow than we've had on some of the other tracks, especially like consistently throughout it. But then, like you mentioned, the harmonies in some of the sections were really nice as well. Do you know what? I think that was probably, for me, the best overall track on the album so far. I think we got to see multiple sides to PinkPantheress and what she's capable of in terms of like delivering vocals. And it felt like the production was, I know this is a weird way to describe, a little less inspired than some of the others. It had that Streets feel, but it wasn't like a sample or like a very clear, this is what this is. I thought it was a bit more unique than some of the other ones.
Yeah, it was more refined and more kind of withdrawn. So there wasn't as much going on in there, but it kind of added to the ambience that the track was bringing. And like I was saying, it's more like heartfelt and a bit more emotional. And it felt like with her doing the talking part, that felt like the real PinkPantheress. And that was like, rather than her putting on like a show, that's who she is as a person. I'm going to say those words instead.
Well, Tim, it's time to go stateside.
I feel my skin tight, my coat is inside, but I look up at you. I tracked your plane ride.
Waiting for that drum to kick in.
Tell me, when is the next time I'll run into you? It sounds insane, right?
Oh.
I'll take the same ride.
Not what I was expecting.
You must have heard this.
Not yet. Maybe I'll know the chorus.
You don't know it from that?
No?
To be fair, I haven't heard this version. Not with these dirty wobs. Do you not see that ice skating girl?
I have no idea what you're on about, mate.
Oh,
I
what?
just don't know what you're on about.
The American ice skater that did a whole choreography to this track. I can't believe it.
Generally don't watch American Ice Skating.
No, but it was fine. Other people will be able to let me know. It did happen. It was a big thing. Everybody knows that. Kanye reference.
Big ups to Brendan Aronson.
Who's Brendan Aronson? What's that got to do with the price of fish?
American boy.
It's a niche one, that.
It's a Leeds chant after him to that song.
Right. And for all you Leeds fans out there,
Yeah,
that's for you.
For all the Leeds United fans here.
Oh.
Production on this one's been mega.
Yeah, yeah.
Intercontinental, what a word. It's just a difficult one, that, isn't it? Putting that into a track.
Yeah. There's something about that track that just absolutely slaps. And I know that there's another version of it with Zara Larsson. Is that their name?
Yes.
Is that a person?
Yes, that is a
and they're
real
a big
person.
artist currently.
Yes.
It was her. That's the name. Yeah.
I love how you laughed at me for not knowing the ice skating video, and they're like, Zara Larsson.
So Zara Larsson, it's that version that I think the ice skater danced to, which is the version I know. So I've not
so
heard
it wasn't
this
that
version.
then. Can you just say sorry?
No, not at all.
Well, I'd
It's
know
the
the
same
Zara Larsson
fucking
version.
oh yeah, with the ice skater, yeah.
No, I'd know that version of the song though.
Do you?
So, yeah.
Oh right, okay. So you've not heard
massive. Don't know this one though.
it. So you're
no.
the same as me. Oh, in the same boat for that then.
And you laughed at me for it.
I did, yeah.
Well, anyway, I thought that was some of the best production on the album so far in terms of those electronic influences. It felt like it had a few more layers. You know, it was a bigger onion than some of the other tracks. There was a bit more going on, some wob still, a couple changes in the drum beat. Really, really enjoyed it.
It was a what?
A bigger onion.
A bigger onion.
Yeah, the other ones were like shallots. That was a full onion.
That was a fucking beastie boy onion. Okay, I mean, yeah. If anybody else thinks that Pink Pantheress' music is a lot like an onion, then you know,
layered.
this is why we're here on this. This is why we do what we do, because nobody else out there is saying that Stateside is like a big onion.
Next, you're going to tell me you've never seen Shrek?
I've seen Shrek. Of course, I've seen Shrek.
Well, you should
it's
get the
layers like an
reference.
onion.
Yeah,
Are you calling Pink Pantheress an ogre? Is that what's going on here?
No, donkey.
Anyway, that track. Oh, hang on, now let that fucking slide. That's horrible.
Carry on.
That track is the original version. This version is a lot more Pink Pantheress-y. So I think if you listen to the version with Zara Larsson, then you get a different idea of the kind of music that Pink Pantheress will make. If you listen to this version, I think it completely fits in with the album, because I did wonder how that would actually vibe with it and how different it was, but it does seem like the other version is a lot different. This has a lot more of those British elements to it.
Well, we're on to the last track. A real shame. It is Romeo. Feels like the first time we've heard an electric guitar.
And I just changed your name, now it's Romeo. Okay, I might just add you to my portfolio.
Oh.
You play your favorite songs through your speakerphone, and still I follow you through all your audio. Despite my biggest efforts to turn it off, you're my Romeo. Step one, don't let yourself fall in love, 'cause that isn't fun. Step two, Romeo, there's something in the air tonight. You're my Romeo. Everybody loves when you told them so.
I expected the drop to be a bit heavier after those synth notes, I can't lie.
You're all I can imagine.
Still got that guitar in there with the strings. There's a lot going on right now.
Mad bass line as well.
Yeah. That goes without saying. Just dirty. That's cool flow. Oh, I do like that clear up. I know it's not a drop, but it kicks back in, that energy and that happiness returns.
Back with that guitar.
I like that. Round of applause. Round of applause. Round of applause. I think that track is possibly up there for my favorite tracks of this album, you know. I think there was a lot more going on in there in terms of the strings, the guitar. It felt like it was more live instruments. They might have been simulated instruments, I don't know. But it felt like there was a lot more, not layers to it, just elements. You know what I mean?
So you're trying to say that was an even bigger onion?
That was the biggest onion, I would say.
I didn't like that one as much as some of the others. I still enjoyed it, still liked it, but I don't know, maybe it was just a bit of a different vibe to some of the other tracks, which is fine. However, PinkPantheress, certainly my first time listening to a full album, and I mean, really, I've only heard one of the singles off that. It was very, very fun, very, very British, and very, very nostalgic. And I think nostalgic is the key word in there, because the fun and the British both come under the nostalgia element of it, and it plays off that so hard. Some really cool samples. I would imagine even some of the wubs and like electronic influences we see in there are probably samples that we just don't know where they've come from, because I saw on a lot of the tracks there was multiple writing credits. They'll just be samples, won't they? Because, for example, Just Jack was also a writing credit. So she's clearly using a lot of what she loved growing up and making her own version of a modern British sound.
Because it's not like she's taking those songs and just putting her vocals over the top of them. She's interloping them in different ways. She's kind of doing in a similar way to like what certain rap producers would do, where, I mean, this is kind of in that realm. I don't really know where to place her in terms of genre, because it is a bit rappy. It's a bit poppy. It's a bit singy. I don't know. I think she's in her own lane currently. I can't think of any other female artist anyway that's doing this style of stuff. But like you were saying, she's not just taking the track. She's taking a little bit of a sample and reworking that into a whole new track, rather than just saying, I'm going to take their beat and I'm going to go over baseline junkie, I'm just going to rap over the top of that instead. It's creating this whole new track, and like you say, a whole new sound. And maybe this is the future of British music, where we kind of have this nostalgic feel, and then in 10 years' time, there'll be people interloping PinkPantheress' songs, and then we'll just have a new rebirth of that British sound, and we'll never get away from filthy bass line.
I think the difference between this and a lot of tracks that do really well commercially that use samples is this does it more unapologetically. Sometimes it'll be a bit more hidden, do you know what I mean? Whereas in this, there's multiple moments where you go, oh, that's from this, or that's very inspired by this genre and this period of time. I'm kind of torn on it. Like, I like it and it sounds good, but I hope that it's not the future of music, to be honest.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I like taking some inspiration, but pretty much every track on that felt like, oh, this could have come out in 2005, which is fine and I enjoy it, but I don't want every album to always be like that.
But what did you think of PinkPantheress as a whole? Because I already enjoy it. Like I say, I haven't listened to any PinkPantheress album in full, so this is my first time too, but I have heard some of her bigger tracks. What is your opinion on her now? Are we going to carry on with this deep dive into PinkPantheress?
Do you know what I'd be really interested to see? To go back and listen to her debut album and see what that's like, because I feel that might have a bit more of a personal imprint on it as opposed to using so many samples, etc. I really enjoyed this and it was actually much better than I thought it was going to be coming into it, if I'm honest. But I would like to see a bit more about PinkPantheress. I know that we saw it a little bit here, and maybe that is what she is. That is what she's about. She's always using these inspirations. But maybe let us know in the comments, where can we find a bit more of a personal touch?
I was going to say, if anybody would know, it'd be the people who've got this far in this video, which we really appreciate you for doing. Thank you so much for that. If you haven't already, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe, because Joe doesn't know this, but I know that we're going to do another PinkPantheress album down the line. It doesn't matter. I don't care what he says. He hasn't got a choice in the matter. So if you can let us know, like Joe says, what is the most PinkPantheress album that she has, that maybe then Joe will go, oh, I understand this now, and we'll get a bigger appreciation for her.
Well, thank you for watching.